He defied death and built a tomb unlike anything else in the history of mankind. For more than 2,000 years, the tomb of China's first emperor remained sealed, untouched by time and feared by many. It is buried beneath a massive mound of earth near the famous Terracotta army. They built mechanical traps, rivers filled with mercury, and a kingdom hidden underground. It is said that this ancient chamber holds such dangerous secrets that even today, scientists are still afraid to open it. So why, even in 2026, do experts still refuse to touch it? What are they really afraid of discovering? This is the reason why scientists are so afraid to open the tomb of China's first emperor, and the truth might be even more dangerous than anyone could imagine. But before we begin, if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe so you'll always stay up to date on videos like this. The emperor who wanted to live forever. More than 2,000 years ago, China was not yet a single nation. It was made up of different powerful kingdoms that often went to war for land and power. This long period of chaos was called the Warring States period. Each state had its own laws, currency, and traditions. Peace was rare, and almost all the rulers were looking for ways to defeat their enemies and expand their territories. In the western state of Qin, a young prince named Ying Zheng was born in 259 BC. Later on, he would be known as Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. Ying Zheng became king at the young age of 13 after his father, King Zhuangshang, died. Even though he was still young at that time, he was already surrounded by ambitious ministers, advisors, and generals who helped him maintain power as he grew up. As he grew older, Ying Zheng showed that he was a brave and determined leader. He didn't just want to rule his own state. His dream was bigger: to unite all the rival kingdoms under one ruler, one law, and one nation. Something that had never happened before in China. For almost 10 years, he led his army in successive military campaigns across different parts of the region. One by one, the kingdoms fell under Qin's rule. His soldiers used advanced weapons, organized formations, and strict discipline to defeat their enemies. By 221 BC, he had conquered the 6 other major states: Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Qi. For the first time in China's history, the entire land was united under one emperor. After his victory, Ying Zheng declared himself as Qin Shi Huang Huangdi, which means first emperor of Qin. He believed that his rule marked the beginning of a new era in China's history, so he did everything to ensure that his empire would last forever. To achieve that, he began to change and organize the entire country. Qin Shi Huang implemented a unified writing system throughout the empire to replace the various local scripts and make it easier for everyone to understand the same characters. This greatly helped in communication and record keeping. He also created a national currency so that coins would have the same shape and value in every region. Even weight and measurement were standardized to make trade and taxation throughout the empire more organized and fair. He even regulated the width of cart axles so that all carts would fit on the same roads. To protect the borders of the empire, Qin Shi Huang ordered the connection and reinforcement of the ancient walls that were previously built by rival states. This project became the foundation of what would later be called the Great Wall of China. This was an enormous task that required thousands of workers, including soldiers, ordinary laborers, and even prisoners. Its purpose was to prevent nomadic invaders from the north from attacking Chinese communities. Within the empire, he had extensive roads, bridges, and canals built to connect the distant provinces. Because of this, the movement of the army, goods, and messages throughout the country became much easier. He also removed the local leaders and replaced them with officials directly chosen by the emperor to ensure that no one else could accumulate power and challenge his authority. While Qin Shi Huang was busy consolidating his empire on the outside, a deeper fear was gradually growing inside him: the fear of death. He really wanted to rule forever. The idea of immortality became his obsession. He sent out scholars, doctors, and alchemists to different places to search for a way for him to live forever. He ordered some people to travel to distant islands to look for magical herbs or the elixir of life. Others worked in secret laboratories to create potions that were said to prevent aging. One of the substances he often drank was mercury. We now know that mercury is poisonous and can cause serious illness or death. But back then, the emperor believed the advice of his advisors and drank it, hoping he would live forever. His desire to control everything, laws, roads, the writing system, and people, even extended to something he could never control, death itself. So ever since he became king at the age of 13, he started planning something that would allow him to continue ruling even after his life ended. And what he started was a project the world had never seen before. Building beneath the earth. At that time, no one could tell how big this project would become. As the emperor's power grew, so did his dreams for the afterlife. He didn't want just a simple tomb. He wanted an entire kingdom built beneath the ground. For this massive underground complex, the emperor commanded more than 700,000 workers. This included soldiers, artisans, prisoners, and farmers, who were forced to work from different parts of the newly unified kingdom. Some historians say that this number may have been exaggerated in ancient records, but based on archaeological discoveries, it's clear that this project was truly massive, and the construction took many years. It lasted for almost 4 decades. It continued throughout the reign of Qin Shi Huang and was still ongoing until his death in 210 BC. It was probably still unfinished when the peasant rebellion broke out in the later part of the Qin dynasty, which ultimately brought the construction to a halt. The location of the tomb was chosen on Mount Li near the city of Shanyang, the capital of the empire. This place is considered special because of its natural resources. According to ancient texts, the northern part of the mountain is rich in gold, while the southern part is rich in jade. Because the emperor believed in symbols and signs, he chose this place because of its supposedly auspicious geography. The design of the tomb is not ordinary. It was carefully modeled after the layout of the city of Shanyang, the capital of the Qin dynasty, as if, just like the living emperor who ruled from his palace, the dead emperor would supposedly continue to rule from a similar kingdom in the afterlife. The underground tomb has city walls, watchtowers, official buildings, and residences. Everything a ruler needs in life was recreated underground on a smaller scale. This underground kingdom was divided into 2 main parts: the inner city and the outer city. The inner city, which measures approximately 1.5 miles in circumference, is where the main tomb and important structures are located. The outer city, on the other hand, is larger, measuring about 4 miles in circumference. Its walls are made of densely packed earth, similar to those of the real capital, and are designed to protect the emperor's resting place even in death. Inside the walls, archaeologists found evidence of a detailed and organized city plan. There are stables for horses, kitchens for preparing food, and storage rooms filled with supplies. Other parts of the complex have courtyards, gardens, ceremonial halls, and administrative buildings. An imperial park was also built, where there are bronze birds that look lifelike and musicians to entertain the emperor's spirit. In one part of the complex, archaeologists found bronze war chariots and horses as large as real animals, carefully arranged as if ready for a royal parade. These chariots were made with remarkable skill using thousands of separate parts. The horses have reins, saddles, and decorative ornaments. Some even had bronze umbrellas to protect the emperor from the sun, even though there is no sunlight underground. The builders also created complex drainage systems under the tomb to prevent flooding. According to records, during its construction, the digging may have reached the groundwater. Modern analysis using radar and soil analysis shows that the underground water table in the area is about 98 feet below the ground surface. The presence of drainage channels, an underground dam, and sealed walls shows that the builders really thought about the long-term protection of the structure. What's even more amazing is the size of the entire complex. The entire area, now known as the Mausoleum of the First Emperor of Qin, covers almost 38 square miles, which is even larger than many modern cities. Most of it remains buried, and only a few parts have been excavated so far. Even after more than 50 years of research and excavation, archaeologists believe that they have only discovered a small part of the entire underground complex. One of the most fascinating aspects of the design is its orientation. To the east of the central tomb, the emperor placed his strongest defense. The east was where the six kingdoms Qin Shi Huang defeated were located. Rival states divided before he unified China. Even after death, he seemed to want to protect himself from possible revenge. Although he ruled as emperor, it is clear that he still feared the anger and possible rebellion of the people he had conquered. But this underground kingdom was not left unguarded. Arranged in a battle formation, there was something very special placed at the side of the complex. The Army of Clay. For almost 2,000 years, the great tomb of Qin Shi Huang remained buried under thick earth and silence. For a long time, locals have told stories about hidden treasures and mysterious mounds, but no one really knew what was truly beneath them. Everything changed in the spring of 1974 when a group of farmers digging a well in a field near the city of Xi'an discovered an astonishing secret. While digging, one of them hit a hard object underground. It was a piece of carved clay. As they continued, more pieces appeared. A head, a body, and the tip of a bronze weapon. They didn't know that they had just discovered the edge of one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in human history. The incident was immediately reported to local officials, and soon a team of archaeologists arrived. As they examined the site, more pieces were unearthed until it became clear that this was not an ordinary burial site. Beneath the ground, thousands of life-sized clay soldiers were found, neatly arranged in battle formation. Today, this discovery is known as the Terracotta Army. Currently, more than 8,000 individual warriors have been found in the main pits, and many still remain buried. What's even more remarkable is that no two soldiers are exactly alike. Each one has a unique face, hairstyle, clothing, and expression. Some have mustaches or are bald. Some faces appear serious and focused, others calm or slightly smiling. Scholars think these figures may be modeled after real people. They could possibly be soldiers who served in the emperor's army while he was still alive. It wasn't just soldiers who were buried here. As the excavation went deeper into various pits, archaeologists also discovered clay chariots with horses arranged as if ready to charge into battle. Figures of generals, archers, infantry soldiers, and cavalry were also found. Some are kneeling while holding crossbows, while others are standing upright holding long spears. Some are also holding real bronze weapons that are still sharp and can cause harm even today. And it's not just warriors in the army. In nearby pits, researchers discovered various clay figures that were not meant for war. There are acrobats captured mid-motion, showing the detailed anatomy of the human body. There are musicians with detailed costumes and instruments, as if they are ready to perform. There are officials and administrators dressed in formal attire, calmly standing while holding scrolls. There are horse caretakers, grooms, and even clay ducks and swans. They are near what seems to be an underground garden or lake. These figures are not just simple decorations. They reflect the entire life at the emperor's court and the services he expected to continue even in the afterlife. When these were first made, everything was painted in bright and vivid colors. They used special minerals and pigments to give them a more realistic appearance, almost like real people. When the figures were exposed to air, the paint covering them began to crack and peel off. Within just a few minutes, the colors gradually faded, and within a few hours, they almost completely disappeared. This is why most of the warriors we see today are just gray clay with only a few traces of the original paint left. This is a big lesson for archaeologists. In the early stages of excavation, they didn't fully understand how delicate and fragile these materials were. Because of this, many original details were permanently lost, simply because of rapid excavation or lack of protection for the paint. This is one of the reasons why even today, many parts of the site remain unexcavated. At present, experts are working slowly and carefully using modern technology to better protect their discoveries. As of now, 4 main pits have been discovered near the emperor's tomb. Pit 1 is the largest, and this is where the main army can be found. Pit 2 contains cavalry units, war chariots, and archers. Pit 3 is considered the command center where the high-ranking officials are located. Pit 4 was found empty, perhaps left unfinished when construction stopped after the emperor died. But these are only part of what is known so far. In total, the entire necropolis or city of the dead covers almost 38 square miles. Archaeologists have also discovered hundreds of other pits around the complex. Some contain animals, others entertainers, and many more have yet to be discovered to this day. And at the very core of it all lies the emperor's own tomb. This is the place where it is most widely believed that Qin Shi Huang is buried. The tomb is beneath a large mound of earth shaped like a low pyramid. According to ancient texts, its central chamber is like a model of the entire world. There are rivers made of flowing mercury, walls of bronze, and a ceiling painted with stars and constellations. It is also said to contain treasures, rare materials, and the sealed coffin of the emperor. But until now, no one has ever opened it. So why are scientists afraid to open the tomb of the first emperor of China? To understand this, we need to go back to the writings of a famous historian, Ma Qian, who lived about a century after Qin Shi Huang died. In his work, Records of the Grand Historian, he described the emperor's tomb in detail. According to his account, it was not just a simple tomb. It was a miniaturized version of the entire empire. Inside it, flowing rivers and seas were created, not with water, but with liquid mercury. These rivers symbolize the major rivers of China, such as the Yangtze and Yellow River. It was said to be designed to flow using mechanical systems that mimic the real movement of water. Ma Qian also wrote that the tomb contains palaces and towers filled with rare treasures, as well as representations of mountains and stars. In his description, the ceiling of the tomb was painted with the night sky while the floor was shaped to resemble the very landscape of China. These elements were not just decorations. They were part of Qin Shi Huang's plan to control the world in death, just as he did when he was alive. But what caught the attention of modern scientists even more were the warnings in the text of Ma Qian. According to him, the tomb is protected by deadly traps. There are crossbows that are supposedly set up to automatically fire at anyone who tries to enter. These weapons are said to be hidden inside the walls or ceiling and will activate when an intruder enters. These traps were designed to kill instantly, a final defense to protect the emperor's body and treasures forever. At first, many historians thought these stories were just exaggerated. After all, Ma Qian never actually saw the tomb himself. His account was based only on the stories of others, many years after the emperor had died. So, for a long time, people thought that the stories of the River of Mercury and deadly traps were just part of the legend. Amazing, but not true. But eventually, scientists began to examine the area for real. In the early 2000s, teams working near the burial mound noticed something unusual. When they analyzed the soil, they found extremely high levels of mercury, much higher than what should naturally be present in the environment. In one measurement, it reached over 1,400 parts per billion, which is far beyond the safe level. Many other different tests were conducted around the hill, and these showed the presence of mercury arranged in patterns that matched what Ma Qian wrote. Suddenly, the idea that mercury flows through underground tunnels didn't seem so impossible anymore. This discovery surprised many people. Is it possible that the ancient stories are actually true? Experts now believe that there may still be trapped mercury vapor inside the sealed tomb. Mercury is a dangerous substance. Even a small amount of its vapor can cause serious health problems when inhaled. If the tomb is opened without proper equipment and precautions, it can be dangerous for anyone nearby. This is one of the main reasons why scientists chose not to enter it yet. And there's another thing to fear: the traps. If it is true that the ancient engineers made mechanical crossbows and booby traps, and if these were made of durable materials like metal, they might still be functional even after thousands of years. There are types of spring-loaded weapons that can remain armed for a very long time if left untouched. If someone enters and accidentally triggers one of these, it could cause deadly injury. Because of this, the main burial chamber remains untouched. Scientists know it's there. They can determine its shape and size using modern technology like ground-penetrating radar, but no one has dared to break its seal. What will the future decide? You're probably wondering when it will actually be opened. The truth is, no one knows yet. For decades, archaeologists, historians, and scientists have continued to debate this. Some believe that the time will come when it will be opened, but only once technology is advanced enough to protect the tomb and the people who will study it. Others believe it may never be opened at all. What is clear to everyone is that the dangers are real and the decision cannot be rushed. One of the biggest issues is preservation. This was proven with the Terracotta Army. When it was first unearthed in 1974, its vibrant paint quickly faded and peeled off when exposed to air. The colors that survived for more than 2,000 years underground couldn't withstand even a few minutes outside. That alone is an example of how delicate the contents of the tomb are. If it is opened too early, the treasures inside, if there are any, could be lost forever. That's why many experts say we should wait for now. According to them, only in the future, when technology is more advanced, will it be safe to explore the tomb. It's necessary to be able to stabilize the environment, prevent chemical reactions, and neutralize the poisons or traps before anyone enters. But waiting also comes with its own risks. China is a place with earthquakes, floods, and rapid urbanization. Over time, natural disasters can damage the underground chambers. Pollution from industries can also seep into the ground. There is also the threat of illegal digging or looting, which has already destroyed many historical sites around the world. If left completely unattended, the tomb could be damaged accidentally or, worse, intentionally. To prevent this, researchers are now using non-invasive methods to study the site. This includes ground-penetrating radar and magnetometers. There are also experiments with small robotic probes that can enter without opening the tomb. These help in mapping the shape and depth of the tomb, but they still can't see its innermost part. That's why the deepest secrets remain hidden. So, why is this important? It's not just about treasure or gold. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang is one of the last major archaeological sites in the world that remains unopened. It could reveal how ancient China buried their emperor and how they understood life, death, power, and the universe. It could also reveal the technology of that era, the beliefs of the people, and the ambition of a leader who wanted to shape eternity. And so the question remains, should it be opened now? Or should Qin Shi Huang's tomb be left as his secret forever?